Good morning, everybody. This is a treat for me because I've been talking to this gentleman for a little while, and he has a car that I am very excited to drive. This is Bill. Welcome, sir.
Hey, everybody.
Thank you for bringing me your car. This is a first-generation Porsche Boxster, but you've modified it in some interesting ways. So why don't you tell me, start big and then work narrow.
Big and narrow. Okay, so we have a 3.4 liter from a 996.
Which is that the M96 engine?
It's from 1999.
Okay.
In fact, the donor car was a beautiful black Porsche that had the whole front end taken off of it.
Okay.
So
that's a good place to find an engine.
Only had 18,000 miles on it when I got it. I modified it with some headers and ECU upgrade. And it's making about, well, we're at 3,300 feet. So
yeah.
It's going to be a little down on power, but it's making about 310 to 320.
And was this originally a 2.7 car?
2.5 liter, originally made 204, 205 horsepower. And I had it like that for a while.
So 30% more horsepower than stock. That's great.
Yeah, almost 90 horsepower difference.
That's brilliant.
And I've also, as far as suspension goes, I have the ROW, which means rest of the world, European spec M030 suspension, which consists of
there's a biker coming up on me really fast. Hang on. Sorry, I just want to not be in people's way.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let these guys go by right here. Give them a what's up. I like letting the bikers have their fun. You know? So you have the Euro spec basically suspension.
Yeah. So it consists of springs, shocks, sway bars. I actually put an H&R sway bar, adjustable sway bar on the rear, just to give it a little bit more oversteer characteristic.
Right away, you know, you have to love the smoothness of the engine.
Smooth.
Slick.
Yeah.
Zero vibration in the cabin from the engine. You know, the shifter, super slick. The pedals are just right there, although I have to disagree with your placement of this air fuel gauge. It's right on my shin.
Well, you're quite a bit bigger than I am.
I know,
I don't have an issue with that, but speaking of the air-fuel ratio, we did have to do some tuning with it. I have a little mass airflow controller, so I was able to dial in the air-fuel ratio perfectly. That alone gave me an extra 20 pounds of torque and 30 horsepower, because I was running rich when I first had the conversion done. But once we dialed that out, it's real sweet now.
Well, as usual with a Boxster, the balance is excellent. You know, it feels like there's almost no limit to a speed that you can take a corner.
Yeah.
And the steering is great. It's, you see that? That was an Alpina B7 with Targus trophy stickers on it, crashed on the side of the road.
Oh no, I saw it, but I didn't know it was crashed.
I don't know, on the way back, we may have to detour and take a peek. So, but you told me that before you had this Boxster, you were actually a DSM guy. Oh
yeah, I was Fast and Furious all the way. I was, I worked with a guy named Ken Frakes in the 90s, and we built a 97 G. Well, I had 4 Eclipses in the 90s, but my pride and joy was a 97 GSX. It made close to 500 horsepower.
And so that is, you know, that's a drag car essentially.
Yeah, I did a lot of quarter miles, went through like 5 clutches, 2 trannies. I mean, I love those cars, but I had a buddy of mine at work. He got a Boxster, and I made fun of him. I said, "Let's race, I'll blow your doors off." He's like, no.
Let's race around corners.
In fact, he did one better. He said, "Here's my keys. You take this through Mulholland Highway. And let's swap cars, and let's go have lunch." And I was telling you earlier,
and that was it.
By turn 3 or 4, it rewrote everything I thought I knew about cars and handling and having fun. And about 3 months later, I bought this car in 2000. So I've owned this car 15 years.
Wow. Well, it's very clean. 143,000 miles, and the interior
looks
great.
Brand new,
it looks really, really nice. I think this looks like a car that has a third of the mileage it actually does have. And I did, not long ago, did a 996 Carrera with like 150,000 miles or something, and it looked just this good too. They just hold up really nicely.
You know what? And I'm a car guy. My father, you met him. He's
wrong here.
My dad was taught mechanics back in the 70s, and my grandfather worked on cars, would rebuild Model Ts. And so I grew up working on cars, and they're my pride and joy.
So did you do the work on this car yourself?
I did a lot of, for example, I put the 996 brakes
bolt-on stuff and the maintenance and the engine.
Right. Well, the actual engine swap, I had his name is Claudio Siskowski. He owns Ford Motorsports in Santa Monica. He works on Ferraris and Porsches, and he did the actual engine conversion. I got the engine conversion from, I made good friends with Todd DeCarmen. He owns a Porsche graveyard. And
That sounds like a guy I'd like to know.
Yeah, right?
Porsche graveyard? That sounds cool.
Because it parts out anything you want. You know, people crash their Porsches all the time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, let me just say that with 300 horsepower after this engine swap, this car feels about right. You know what I mean? I would bet that this car felt slow with the stock engine.
It did.
Right?
And coming from the DSM.
Yeah. With a turbo. I
always wanted more power, so.
Because a 500 horsepower DSM is a real fast straight line car.
Oh man, it's crazy. Crazy.
But this car has a lovely finesse to it.
Thank you.
It really bothers me that that people don't respect Boxsters the way they should. Actually, I love the Boxster.
It was so funny. I was thinking when I forgot when I got in the car, I was gonna go, okay, let me have it. Tell me it's a hairdresser's car. Tell me it's all this.
Dude, you underestimate me. I am not. A lot of people.
Car guy.
A lot of people make these hilarious assumptions about me that aren't even remotely true because I'm fat, loud, and American.
Right. Plus, you tell it like it is, and I like that.
But this car, so I will be honest, it's still not what I would call fast.
Yeah, no, it doesn't feel fast up here.
No, but it's
well balanced.
Yeah, I mean, and it feels like it's not not slow to the point where you have to make excuses like a Miata where it's like, yeah, but you know,
right?
But it's fast enough to definitely. Oh, here's a good spot. Such an easy clutch in this car. It's certainly fast enough to have a good time. And look at that turning radius. Porsches have great turning radiuses, and you just have to really bring it out.
Yeah, I mean, go all the way to 7.
There's the sound you're looking for right there. You get it between 5 and 7 is where you really get that Porsche sound.
It has a nice howl to it.
Does it have an aftermarket exhaust on it? Or is it kind of a standard?
Yeah, so B&B headers. Original cats, but we repiped them. We put larger pipes, welded larger pipes on them. It's actually got a 2004 Boxster S muffler, but with larger pipes welded on it.
Oh, interesting.
Because I wanted something that was still nice. I didn't want, because coming from DSMs, I had a loud, super loud exhaust. It droned and all this stuff.
Chipmunk. Oops. Well, for all that, it's not that loud. I mean, it doesn't drone, and you could daily drive this car and not be like annoyed with it.
Yeah, well,
that's nice.
And 143,000 miles on it, and I drive it like I stole it. Whenever I drive my cars. In fact, the Porsche mechanic said the guys who have the most problem are the garage queens.
Yeah, no, these cars you absolutely have to drive, and Ferraris as well. The best driving Ferraris I've ever driven are the ones with miles on them.
Yeah.
I noticed the buttons on the steering wheel. Was this car a Tiptronic when you bought it?
No, the steering wheel is though.
Oh, okay.
But it was such a nice steering wheel, I couldn't pass up on it. I mean,
Can you reprogram the buttons to do something else?
I wanted to program the traction control to go one of those.
If it's possible, that would be cool, because otherwise you've got buttons here that don't do anything.
Yeah. But
man, the ride combined with the grip and like it corners flat, but it doesn't ride harsh, you know, and then when you hit a bump, it doesn't throw you, it just stays. It's very it's well dialed in. Because there's putting on parts and then there's fine tuning, and in general it's all in the fine tuning. I don't want to sit behind these people, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a pause right here for 30 seconds. We're back.
All right.
So if you don't mind, can we talk about money for a second? Is that okay?
Yes, sure.
What we don't have to be specific, but for the amount of money and labor and things you have in this car, do you think it was money? Because I imagine none of this was really cheap, even in a Boxster. But was it worth it?
To me it was, and I'll explain why. When I built this car and did this conversion, they didn't make a Boxster like this.
Okay.
Actually, the Cayman S had just come out, because I did the conversion in around 2006, 2007. The Boxster S 3.4 had just come out, but those brand new were going for 70.
Right.
And to be honest with you, I just fell in love with this car, like your Corvette.
attached to this one.
Yeah.
So there's no, you don't have temptation to go out and buy a new Boxster or a new Cayman?
I do. Well, I own a Cayman S as well.
Oh, you do? And you also own that 997?
Yeah,
okay, so your garage is pretty stocked at the moment with Porsche.
I'm up to 4 right now.
Really? What's the 4th?
The Cayenne S.
Okay. So of your 4 Porsches, what, if you were coming up and doing this drive that we're doing right now, which one would you grab the keys to?
That's the question I get asked the most.
Yeah.
And it pains me to say it because I love all my cars like my children. Right?
I know.
You don't want to say you love one more than the other, but if I had to keep one pair of keys, it definitely would be the 911.
Okay.
Only because the Boxster S handles so well, it's almost really hard to screw up.
So you still find the 911 challenging?
It's a little more exciting. It's a little more visceral. It's a little more primal. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
No, it definitely does. Well, it's interesting because you have 3 cars that serve more or less the same purpose. Yes. Whereas for me, I have multiple cars as well, but I like to make sure. Oh wait, let's take a look because we got a camera mounted on the nose. Oh look, someone had a bad day on Target Trophy. Look, I'm gonna just look over here and we'll look at the front of this car and oh, it's not gone well there at all. This is the first time we've ever stopped in a one take to look at a crashed car on the side of the road. Oh, that poor B7. Oh man.
Yeah,
that's not good.
That front suspension's gone.
That's not good. Learn.
It looks like he scraped the whole side of it.
Okay, I gotta jump out here quickly.
Whoops.
Yeah. He was going quick too, that guy. So you have 3 cars that serve a similar purpose, whereas I have my cars, it's like, you know, one is for track, one is for canyons, one is for going to dinner, and none of them are particularly good at the other tasks. So it's easy to choose. It's like whatever I'm doing, I grab the appropriate car.
Right.
When you have 3 cars that are all brilliant in the canyons, it must be a challenge.
It is, but you know what? They all make me smile the same.
Oh, there you go.
It's just, I get such a joy out of driving them.
And you have the right cars.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. And each one of, that's why it pains me to sometimes choose.
Yeah.
Because I know that there's a pecking order. No doubt about it. There's a pecking order. You can't, and I think you go on any forum, Corvette forum.
Yeah.
There's a pecking order on Corvette forums too. Z06s versus Z01.
Oh, that sound.
There you go.
I love it. Love it. Oh, that's great. What a great sound. This is such a cool car, man.
By the way, I have a little story on the shifter as well. This is actually the Cayman S shifter in here.
Okay.
I had the B&M for a while, and it was a little notchy.
Yeah.
It was great, but it was a little notchy.
I would be concerned with an aftermarket shifter in a Porsche. I think the slickness of it from the fact, I mean the Cayman 6-speed is like an amazing gearbox. Wow. Well, I'll tell you something, Bill. We're gonna clear this, right?
Yeah.
This is a very neat car.
Thank you.
I'm really glad I got a chance to drive this. Thank you so much.
That. Yeah.
If it was mine, I couldn't fit in it very well. But besides that, I do. If you're my size and thinking about a Boxster, first generation, probably not the best choice. But the second and the third generation, I can fit in very, very comfortably, actually. And you know, this one, if you don't want to build it yourself, I definitely do recommend a newer Boxster, a 987 Boxster.
Yeah, I love them.
They're just great cars. Thanks, Bill. This was fun. I appreciate it. Yeah. We'll do your other cars later. We'll get you back because if the man has 4 Porsches, I mean, come on, you know what I mean? Cool. This is great. Check out Bill's WheelWell to see the build sheet for this car, exactly what he's done, and if you have the means, I recommend swapping the engines and these things, because I imagine with 100 less horsepower, this car probably would be not as fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, cool. See you guys tomorrow.